Like this content? Check out the links in the description, including the case of the littlest umbrella. I mean, if you've been watching for the last few months, yeah, the world has gone absolutely mad because it sends a message. That message is, we can defy gatekeepers. So, of course, people try to go and put you in line. They try to tell you that they'll do this, that, and the other because they cannot communicate to the people that are out there, the true consumer. They can't emulate success. So, of course, they want to shut that down. They want to make you disappear, and no thanks, we won't be going anywhere. So anyway, more on this project at the end of the video. So today I want to talk about something that I've been noticing, and it's kind of an escalation in this culture war. You see buzzwords getting worse and worse. Now, if that doesn't sound like much, think about what buzzwords are meant to do. I mean, when we're talking about words like ist or phobe, when we're talking, say, racist or sexist or transphobe and on, those aren't words that are meant to hurt your fifis. I mean, if you go out and you attach those to someone, they bring stigma. Now that was the way that a lot of folks that you run into, they first started operating. Now, unfortunately, as with any good weapon, these things, they begin to dull. People stop responding to the ists, to the phobes. They stop defending themselves, and they go about their business. So what you see is an escalation. Now, this escalation, we saw this in escapist platforms, really heavily about 2 years ago, aimed at people like Ethan Van Sciver. You can see this, too. When you go out and you search his name, he has this brandished all over him, into the A to the Z to the I. In fact, if you go out and you look up certain articles about the man, he has people trying to connect him to Charlottesville. You know, when somebody went out there and died and you have this huge worldwide stage, yeah, you have people out there that are putting out messages associated with this guy being connected to that because, hey, you know, that word there. That kind of stuff, it had brand damage, like we're talking about. It had the ability to destroy because, of course, nobody wants to be associated with that. You saw people hunting down pictures of folks with tiki torches and on. Well, it didn't matter if that person actually was responsible for anything. They actually had a certain mindset. It didn't matter whatsoever. It was a good way to send out a message. In fact, you see punch up become a certain phrase within our societal lexicon, with even the mainstream media arguing over whether or not that was an apt way to go. Now we've seen another escalation. As people start to move away from that, you see it prominently in these accusations that are aimed against voice actor Vic Mignogna. Now, if you don't know anything about Vic Mignogna, this guy, he fits the specific demographic for attack these days. Has a specific race, a specific voting preference, and a faith that allows him to become a target. When I talk about that too, that doesn't say that that has to be your demographic, your faith, your voting preference, because most of us in life, we can understand that it's not right or left, it's right or wrong. But these people, yeah, they don't want that. Now, when it comes to damage, I really want you to think about how effective this has been. I mean, when you look at Vic Mignogna, this word, it's attached to him. There's enough noise around that, and that word alone, that's all it takes for conventions to back away. If you look at the litigation that comes up, this statement here, right above there, hey, Funimation, why do you employ a known P to the E to the D to the O? Yeah, it triggers an investigation. Now, later on, that investigation, you find out it wasn't actually this claim that got investigated at all. They didn't look into it, but it gave companies a reason to go out and try to detach from people. It gave people a way to leverage a specific word because it's the new escalation of that. It makes sense too. There's a book out there. It's called How to Destroy a Man Now. Now, this book, it goes through, well, you have an aptly named title. It goes through how to engineer outrage, how to get people to actually listen to you. And, well, one of those parts there, it talks about having somebody roll in as Daddy Knight, coming in to save somebody. Now, the way that you do that is to make specific claims. And those specific claims, the worse they are, the better. I mean, if you're going to go out and you're going to leverage some type of abuse, what's the worst type of abuse that you can leverage? This, it's talked about here as well as something that you don't have to supply any proof for. You know, substantiation is accusation in this wonderful new world out there. This thing too, I mean, when we talk about it, and I would actually tell people to read a book like this. It looks like a play-by-play when you're discussing the things that we talk about. This, it will not only make you mad because it tells you all of the people this has been attached to, but what the outcome could be. You want somebody to go out and you want them to say, harm themselves? Hey, then you accuse them of this. It's a disgusting way of going out about it. But you can see this listed in here. You can see how that's leveraged. And it works, again, effectively. Very, very effectively. Now, these days, this is not only being leveraged against, say, people that are known, but this is having a trickle-down effect. You know, when you saw people going from being called ists and phobes because they have a problem with a certain type of medium, or because they, I don't know, vote the wrong way, the quote-unquote wrong way, well, you see that also push from that certain word, the N to the A to the Z to the I, to this. Here are people going out and labeling other folks that because, well, it works effectively. Here are people complaining about being added to lists that say, hey, you're a list of. These people, what's crazy about it is they're talking about being an abuse victim, but they're not walking lockstep with the narrative. And when you don't walk lockstep with the narrative, this is the easiest way to go out and to try to undo people, to try to damage their reputation and try to harm them in some way. Because again, if that stigma is associated with you or it's associated with what you're talking about, again, think about what kind of damage that does. People, they read the qualifier. They don't actually read what comes after. I saw this change and the intended stigma that comes with it when I launched a comic book. You know, if you go out and you look at what I did, I mean, we're talking about something that is a vehicle. So my daughter would actually enjoy comic books. But when I launched that, people that have been called out because of terrible behavior, they no longer want to just put in a specific four-letter word they were using before. Oh no, they want to put in that. And in fact, they even admit why they want to do that. They admit that they can tie it to something else, like, hey, being a supporter of a Vic Mignogna. Because again, if they predicate any type of association, any type of blame on, hey, you want to look at this, you want to look at that qualifier, well then, it can do damage. And of course, that's these people's intent. That's why I say that I don't like arguing with them like we're going to be equals. Because on one side of this, you have people that set lives on fire. That's what they want to do. They come in, they try to damage reputation, they try to damage occupations because this kind of stuff. Again, they're not telling you that, hey, you're foolish. They're not going out and just talking smack. They're trying to damage you. And well, if you're coming in and trying to treat that like it's a legitimate platform, why would you ever do that? Why would you ever do that? But anyway, give me your thoughts on this. So, like I said at the beginning of this, if you want to check out the platform, help it out a little bit, and you want to send a message too, one of the ways you can do so is the case of the Littlest Umbrella. There are other links in the description as well, but this one, as it rolls forward, again, you've seen the reaction, the threats, the attempts to take it down, the insanity that's come up about it. Yeah, all because we decided to put out a comic book. And these folks, they cannot connect with an audience out there. They cannot emulate success because they think that you can tell people what to do. And well, when you do that, hey, they're going to go and they're going to open their wallets. That does not work. You can check out that. You can also check out our Etsy store. We have prints with this. But again, this was the answer to the problems that we had seen in comic books, because you can either just sit around and you can complain about that, or you can go out and try to do something more. So let me know what you think about this topic too. What do you think about this escalation? And as it escalates, what's next? I mean, I can't see another way to raise the stakes without people going in and actually doing physical harm. That is a frightening concept too, because you think about how easily this stuff is already devolved, how it would devolve to that. Yeah. And we've already seen this happening when people, they go out and they try to say march because they want to vote a specific way or they have a specific mindset. Yeah, they get attacked there. But imagine the attacks just on regular people. I don't see another way that there could be escalation besides that, but maybe you do. Leave your comments, pro and con too. All comments are invited. And closing, I want to say that all of these things we're seeing now, all of these professionals out there, as I talk about professionalism and wanting people to move toward it, you see the reaction. That's because they expect you to take whatever. They expect you to empower their endeavors because they forgot how they got there. You can remind them. You remove your money from it. You either walk away or you walk towards something better. You actually being here, I appreciate that too. If you want to check out the book, you can. If you don't want to check out the book, that's all right. Again, I just appreciate you showing up. I appreciate everything that everybody's brought up in the last few days. I mean, it's been a lot of crazy. And well, yeah. So anyway, I want to end by saying thank you. I really do appreciate you folks. And we'll be doing this stuff again soon. We're going to get kicking back up. We're going to have a couple of days maybe off, but after that, yeah, we're going to be kicking up, and we're going to be kicking up hardcore. So anyway, you tell me what you think about all this. Thank you.